Welcome to Josh's Green Garage. In this video, I'm going to do an oil and oil filter change on this John Deere E100 lawn tractor. So my whole purpose here, help you guys out, show you how easy it is to change oil on these things. That way, if you're someone that doesn't necessarily want to take it to a dealer or doesn't want to spend the money to take it to a dealer to have them change the oil and do this type of stuff, I want to show you how easy it is. Maybe you're not the most mechanically inclined, you're not sure about this stuff, but I'm here to show you how easy it really is. So at that, let's get into it. Now there's just a couple things that you really need for an engine oil and filter change, and that of course is engine oil and a filter. All right, now before I go over the part numbers for this maintenance, I want to point out that you may, dependent on the tractor that you have within the 100 series, have a different part number. So you always want to verify that you're using the correct part for the machine that you have. And an easy way to do that is to go here to the John Deere webpage. You can then click up here on parts and service, or just hover over it and then go down to owner information. Click on that, and then you can come down here to select a category. You're going to hit that drop down and then select lawn tractors, and I don't know if you can see this part or not. And then for subcategory, we're going to hit the drop down there, and again, I don't know if you can see or not, but this is going to list a bunch of the different tractors. So you have all the different 100 series, you have 200 series, the select 300s, the select 500s, and the signature series 700s. So dependent on your prefix for the 100 series, whether it be D, E, L, LA, no prefix, or S prefix, just select what you have. So in this case, I have an E series, so I'm going to pick E, click find, and then it brings up all the different model numbers under the E prefix. So I would be clicking here on this E100. Say you have an E140, click on E140. If you have an E180, click E180. It's going to bring up this screen for all of them. Then click on the little shopping cart here that says maintenance parts. And then this is going to show you everything that you need for maintenance parts for this lawn tractor. So fuel filter, air filter, pre-cleaner for that one, and then the cartridge itself. Some are only going to have a cartridge. If you ever needed a new key, spark plugs there, headlight bulb. And remember, these are all John Deere part numbers, so you might have to do a little work trying to find cross-references if you're wanting something else. And this page might look a little bit different too, depending on the tractor that you have. So if I go back to lawn tractors again, let's see here. And then if I do, say, the S prefix 100s, some of the models changed a little bit. You lose a model. There's no longer an S150 like there used to be. But if we click the 180 here, go to our maintenance parts, it's more of a little sheet like this. But you still have all the same information there. All the info's here. For your oil, it shows you the amount that you need, shows you the interval for changing it, all the information you need. So this is really helpful no matter what maintenance you're doing. Now, I prefer to use John Deere stuff whenever I'm, maintaining my equipment, just because I know the stuff's manufactured to their spec and it meets their specifications. Now, granted, you can save money on these things. You don't have to use John Deere oil. You don't have to use a John Deere filter. This machine itself has a Briggs & Stratton engine in it, so you can actually use a Briggs & Stratton part number and save yourself a lot of money. If you really want to put the effort into it to try to cross-reference to even a different brand, say you want to go cheaper for whatever reason, you can look into that, find a cross-reference, and you can put any other kind of filter on there that'll fit. The beauty about this stuff is you don't have to be close to a John Deere dealer in order to get it. This type of stuff is stocked at Lowe's. Beware, the prices you see here are not necessarily what you may pay. This is really high Alaska prices for things, but essentially you can get the oil and the oil filter here. You can see the oil filter, the part number there, GY20557 or AM125424. And normally this stuff, if you look on it, it has the model numbers that'll fit. The oil filter, for whatever reason, doesn't say any of the E series tractors, but trust me, they're the same. And when you look on John Deere's website, that's the part number it gives you. As far as the oil goes, it is part number TY22029. This is the Turf Guard 1030. You can actually use many different viscosities. The manual itself calls for, you can use 530, 1030, and then you can use, I think it was I think it was like 1040 and 1540. I'll post it in the video so you guys can see. And I'm sure if you had a service manual for one of these, which I don't have, so I can't really look into it, but I'll do the best research I can. Normally there's even more viscosities that you can use. But this stuff is available at Lowe's, or you can get it at a dealer. It's probably a little bit cheaper actually at a dealer if you were to go there. But I won't say that for certain. So this is all you need. Let's get into it. First, we'll open up the old hood and expose the 17.5 horsepower Briggs & Stratton John Deere branded engine. Just to point out, your oil filter right here, super easy to get to. And if I remember correctly from the D100, yep, the oil drain is here on the other side, so I'll bring you around to this side when we go to do the drain. And normally in my videos, I try to read and do everything with the manual, with the instructions. That way, if you're, trying to use this video as a reference and you are following along with your manual, trying to figure something out, or if there's something you quite don't understand, I try to read everything from the manuals. That way, if there's a certain step or a certain way something reads and you're not sure how exactly it works, I try to show that. However, I don't have a manual for this machine. I do, but I don't. I don't have an actual printed one. I pulled the one off John Deere's website for this specific machine and its specific serial number. So I'll be doing everything with the steps that are there. I just unfortunately don't have a way to kind of read along as I do it because I use my phone to video. But in order to do this, you want to park the machine safely. So I've done that. You want to run the engine to warm the oil. I've done that. So next we are going to open the drain. So you just twist this drain a little bit to the side and then pull it off. Make sure you have a drip pan under it, and it's that easy. Comes right off. And then you can open your oil fill on the top. It'll drain a little bit faster. As you can see there, I opened it up and it started draining a little bit quicker. So we'll give that a minute and we'll be back. Just a little tip to make your engine drain a little bit more completely. If you have a floor jack, you can do what I've done here. Jack the opposite side of the tractor. That way everything runs towards that drain. By no means do you have to do this. It's just very easy to lift the machine like this. If you have the mower deck on, it's a little more challenging. You might be able to lift it from the front or even the back if you really wanted. But like I said, you don't have to do it. It'll just make the engine drain a little bit more completely. Get a little bit more of that old oil out of there. That way you can get more fresh oil in there. You can see now we're down to just some drippage. So I'm gonna clean off all around here. I get just a little bit of oil on there though. Keep that O-ring kind of lubricated. And then we can put our cap back on. Just push it on and twist. That easy. And back to the other side of the tractor, we're going to replace the oil filter here. So if you have an automotive type oil filter wrench, like the cap style ones that go on this, If it's a good one, go for it, use it. The kind I have, I think I have the Fram brand ones that fit this size, and they're not that great. It doesn't work that well. I have a really hard time getting them to work on there. So you can always try to spin these off by hand. It may or may not work. That one's pretty tight. So I like using these. These are the channel lock. This is number 209 oil filter pliers. These work fantastic. So if you don't have anything like that, I would definitely recommend something like this, and then it works for multiple size oil filters, not just one. So in order to do this, what we're gonna do is just check around it, make sure you don't have any huge amounts of dirt buildup. So if you're in like a really dusty, dry area or something, maybe you have a lot of like dry brush or something blowing around, getting caught in here, you'll wanna clean that off beforehand. Make sure it's nice and clean in here. And then we will remove our filter. I put that oil pan underneath again as well. Although, looking at it right now, before I go any further, I'm gonna just toss a rag in here underneath, because if I remember this correctly from my D105, it doesn't just run right out down, it gets onto the frame up here, and you'll get oil all over the frame. So just put that there. All right, and that's off enough now. You can spin that off. Yeah, definitely put a rag there. And there you go. I'm gonna get this cleaned up and we'll be back. All right, so now I'm just gonna do a little final cleaning up. I always clean off the threads here and everything for the attachment. Clean off that nice shiny polished surface. Make sure you don't have any of the old gasket remaining on here. If you do, you could be double gasketing your filter and potentially cause a leak. So just clean any old oil off there. Clean the frame one last time. Good to go. From there, take your new filter and take some new engine oil. Sorry, I'm setting it down where you can't really see it. Hopefully I don't spill this too much, just a little. All right, get a little fresh oil on your finger and then coat that seal. And then I always like coating the threads as well. Doesn't tell you to do this, but I always coat the threads as well. And then just spin your new filter on. It says till the gasket touches, which is, I don't know, about there. And then an extra half turn. So I always just go by like where these numbers are. So a half turn would be there. To me, that's not tight enough. I always go until it's about almost as tight as I can get it with by hand. So I was almost able to get about a full turn more. So you can leave that up to your own choice and how you want to do that. I prefer the filter to be a little bit tighter on there. I don't want that thing coming off. I don't know, that hand tight only like that, I feel like if you're only going a little bit, there's a chance it could come off. I've heard horror stories of that happening before, so I wouldn't recommend it, but y'all do what y'all want to do. So that is it. Now we'll go up and fill her back up with oil. All right, to fill her up, we'll remove our dipstick. I'll set that aside. Put in a funnel. And then this machine specifically takes 1.5 quarts. So of course this is gonna vary dependent on which model you have. If you have one of the higher end 100 series, you're gonna have a bigger engine, so there'll likely be more oil. But I'll put all those in the video, that way you guys can see. So I'm just gonna go ahead and dump in a whole quart right off the bat. And then I'm not gonna go, well, yeah, we'll go right to about well, we'll go a little bit less than at the half mark in case there's any oil still in the machine. So I'm probably gonna go, looking at the gauge on the back, I'll probably go about halfway. So I'll put about a quarter quart in and we'll see what happens. A little trick, if you can't see, you probably can't see really where the oil level is on this. Shine a bright light in and then you can see. So I'm gonna put just a hair more for now. I'm gonna get it close to that 1.5 mark. And then oh, sorry, I'm not even holding it level. Yeah, it's about 1.5. I think I might have put just a little more, believe it or not. So we'll put that in there. And I'll start it up. Let that oil get into the filter and then we'll check her. All right, just started her up, ran it for a second. We'll see where we're at. And we're like just at the top of the hash marks. So we'll call that good. And that is how you change oil on a John Deere 100 series lawn tractor. It's gonna be similar even if you have the bigger style engines. I don't think you're really gonna see much difference. There may be a little bit different placement. The bigger ones may have some extra plastic covers or something that you may have to remove. But for the most part, that's an oil change. It's pretty simple. These are probably one of the more common models you see. So anything with a D in front of it, D100, 105, 110, anything like that. If you see the E, of course, or even the newest S models. So an S100, that's probably gonna be one of the most common lawn tractors sold from Deere now. And they're all gonna be similar to this, you know, same motor still. So that is the oil change though. Hopefully this helps. If you had any question, hopefully I save you some money over taking it to the dealer. And yeah, keep watching for the rest of the maintenance on this mower. If you have any questions, please let me know. Ask it, send me an email. That's all I got. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.